Service is clocking it at about 15 miles an hour, so not extremely fast, but still a decent speed. I'll draw this out and let you see some of the locations that are going to be in play from this. So we'll start here and we'll run this up northeast at about 15 miles an hour. And here's some of the spots that need to be in their safe place. And that's going to be Pine Barren right now, Mineral Springs at about 9:28, Chumuckla at 9:47. As of now, Chumuckla, you're not included in the tornado warning, and that's good news. This is a rural section of the county of Escambia and Santa Rosa County, not a heavy population, but that doesn't really matter. You still have to make sure you're taking action and being safe. And the reason why we're on the air is because of this possible tornado around Pine Barren. And we're just going to stay with this until we see the signature fade away from the radar. As mentioned earlier during the morning news, we talked about a slight chance of possible rotation inside of the thunderstorms. We hadn't seen any during the entire morning news, but we finally got the first one, and it is showing up around Pine Barren. And those of you around the northern part of the Panhandle, Escambia County, Alabama, Monroe County, Conecuh County, you're the ones with the best chance to end up seeing situations like this happen. A heavy band of rain showing rotation because of that remnant low that was Tropical Storm Beta. So US 29 Pine Barren needs to be in a safe place, away from doors and windows. If you know anyone that lives in this section of the Panhandle, make sure you let them know that there's the possibility of a tornado moving through their area. And this is going to keep lifting to the northeast at about 15 miles per hour based on Weather Service estimates. The warning is in play until 9:45. If we see the signature drop out sooner than that, then we'll take you back to Studio 10. But for now, we're going to stay with this. Here's a look at the bigger picture. I'll show you the widespread radar. Notice that if you're west of I-65, you've gone dry. So Mobile, I know you started off gloomy today. You started off damp. All the rain is gone for you. The remnant low is picked up a lot of speed. That's why, and the rain has already moved out of the eastern shore in Baldwin County, and only that sliver of Escambia and Santa Rosa County, Florida, is in danger of a tornado. So again, if you're in Pensacola or along the coast, this does not include you. It only includes locations between Jay and Molino, and that heavier band of rain is showing just enough rotation around Pine Barren that a tornado warning was just issued right when Studio 10 hit the air. I got the notification, and that's why we're taking over and we're monitoring this thing, because this could be a life-threatening situation for this section of Escambia and Santa Rosa County, Florida. You can see Alberta, you had a nasty thunderstorm when we did our last weather segment during Good Day Gulf Coast, and now all of that has moved off to parts of Seminole and Muskogee. But then this section near McDavid and Chumuckla has started to show a little indication of rotation, and that's why we're going to stay on the air. This red box represents a polygon. It lets you know that only a section of the county is in the warning, not the entire county. Anyone in the red box are the spots that are in danger. If you're not in the red box, you're fine. Checking out the latest velocity scan, zooming back in over Pine Barren. The signature has weakened significantly. I'll run this loop back through time. This is 9 o'clock, shortly after 9. See how the red color got bright? And then see how it got really bright at 9:04, and then we go forward and we're starting to see it fade. So we'll stay with this over the next couple of sweep scans, but odds are we're going to see this thing fizzling out fast, because there wasn't an overwhelming tornado risk today, but the risk was on the board. But if you're around McDavid or near Mineral Springs, this is US 29. This black line is the line that separates Escambia County and Santa Rosa County, Florida. Be in your safe place. Chumuckla, I would go ahead and do that if I were you, just to err on the side of caution. Thankfully, though, the latest sweep scans have continued to weaken this storm. That's what we like to see. That's what we want to see. We don't want to see bright green and bright red touching each other. That's a positive indicator of a tornado that might be on the ground. I don't think it would be an especially large tornado given this kind of environment. The main tornado season for fall doesn't start till November. This is mostly because of that low that's centered around Jackson, Mississippi. So this would be a short-lived, usually an EF0. It would cause roof damage for wherever it drops. That's why we're on the air, because whoever draws the short straw, if it goes through a residential neighborhood, is going to have problems. Hopefully it's just going to be running over over rural forest and pine trees, and it's not going to cause a big issue. We got a new sweep scan. You can see a little bright sliver of red here and a little green here, but you're starting to see more separation, which is an indicator that the scans are getting weaker and the threat is starting to diminish. So all you can do in this situation, since we don't have any cameras in this part of the area, is just watch the radar. Just watch for trends and watch for changes. Looking at the Weather Service velocity product, and most of this is starting to move into slightly higher elevations, which is good. But if you're joining us right now, interrupted Studio 10, I'm Michael White in the Fox 10 Storm Tracker Center. A tornado warning has been issued. Here's a look at the watch warning map for the entire area, and you can see that we've only got one, this little red polygon that's centered right there around parts of Escambia and Santa Rosa County, Florida. Notice it's flashing. That means the Weather Service has made an update to it. I think they've made it smaller based on where the current signature is located, but it includes Pine Barren, McDavid, and Chumuckla. How long is it active? It's active till 9:45, and it's moving faster. It's moving northeast now at 20. And it was located about 6 miles north of Molino, 12 miles south of Century. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was spotted in this region. And as we look at the velocity display, and I'll put back the track on so that way you can see the communities that might see an impact from this. We'll draw this back out again. 20 miles per hour to the north and east, and that would put Mineral Springs. You would be in jeopardy at about 9:20, Jay at 9:56, but I don't think it's going to hold together that long. You're not seeing a lot of communities pop on the storm tracker because this is a rural section of Santa Rosa County, Florida. It's getting ready to move out of Escambia County, which is good, but that's the signature right there. I'll circle it with the radar right there, where you see that green and red right around US 29. It's moving northeast at about 20 miles an hour. So McDavid and Mineral Springs, get to your safe place. Lowest level of your home, away from doors and windows, preferably first floor bathroom. That's the best spot. Worst place to be, mobile home. Always be friends with someone that lives in a foundation-based home. That's where you need to be, because when you see winds of that magnitude passing over mobile home parks, they always cause significant damage. But I don't think this one will be especially strong, which is good. Remember, we were not under any sort of watch. We had just a minimal tornado risk this morning, and we did get our first one, and it's showing up right along this section of US 29. That black line represents the line that separates Escambia County and Santa Rosa County, and it's moving northeast at about 20 miles per hour. The Weather Service has shrunk the tornado warning polygon because it's moving so quickly. That means fewer communities are in any sort of immediate danger right now. And I don't think this is going to be a long-lasting issue. This isn't going to be like what we saw last week with Hurricane Sally. This is going to be a pretty fast-moving threat. We'll eventually see this stuff move out, which we want to see. I think most spots are going to be out of danger by lunchtime today because the showers have just moved so fast. Look at it on radar. Look how quickly the rain exited Mobile County. Even Baldwin County, if you're on the eastern shore, Bay Minette, the rain has already exited your location. The heaviest rain is moving into Pensacola, Cantonment, but even you aren't dealing with an immediate tornado threat. It's only for this inland section of the Florida Panhandle, right around McDavid and Chumuckla. Flomaton not included in this, Century not included in this, and we're just going to keep watching these sweep scans as they come through, because that's the only way we'll really know what's going to be happening with this system. The heaviest rain, though, it looks like, is moving over McDavid. The rain is actually a bit lighter closer to Pine Barren and closer to Chumuckla, and it's veering to the northeast around Century. So the Weather Service may either redraw the polygon box, or they may let this thing, or they may cancel this thing ahead of time. You still see a little sliver of green right around McDavid. That's probably the spot with the most immediate danger right now, is this region right here. McDavid, Mineral Springs, and US 29, because you see inbound and outbound winds still connected and touching each other, but not as well defined as it was, say, 10 minutes ago. 10 minutes ago, the signature was much stronger, but the Weather Service believes it's enough to keep it intact. I doubt it goes all the way to 9:45, which is when the warning's set to expire. We just got a new sweep, and it looks like it's really starting to fizzle out. It's becoming more difficult to find on radar with each sweep scan we get, and that's good. When it's more difficult to find, that means the chance of there being a major problem goes down. I will back this up on the loop. And notice how when we look at 904, look right Pine Barren, see how bright the red color is and the blue color is. And then as it moves northeast, it just sort of fizzles out and dies over the last 10 minutes. So I think this region is not going to be dealing with a tornado threat for much longer. That's what we want to see. We were hoping we'd get through the whole morning without having to deal with any of these, but this is the first one that we've had to deal with today, and the situation is starting to improve in this region. So what we are going to do is we're going to keep monitoring this, but we're going to hand it back over to Joe and Chelsea for Studio 10. If we get new updates on this, we'll come back to it. But for now, I'm meteorologist Michael White in the Storm Tracker Center. Joe and Chelsea will send it back to you on Studio 10.